thriving, 'cause these are our islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quick dies. Experience delivers, something needs to happen. We need something tried and true to create a better future. We need you with you. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, I see the light again. We're moving forward. Forward, forward with PPM. We're barely surviving the hike and the pricing, when we should be thriving, 'cause these are our islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quick dies. Experience delivers, something needs to happen. We need something tried and true to create a better future. We need you with you. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, I see the light again. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, forward with PPM. We're tired of the fighting. We need some uniting. So please do the right thing for our Cayman Islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quick dies. Experience delivers, something needs to happen. We need something tried and true to create a better future. We need you with you. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, I see the light again. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, forward with PPM. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, I see the light again. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, forward with PPM. Forward.
Good evening, Cayman. Welcome, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Manifesto launch for the People's Progressive Movement. Yeah, it's going to be one night. It's wonderful to see so many of you here tonight for what is one of the most important meetings of this 2025 election campaign. Starting with our party conference at the Kimpton on the 1st of March, and followed by our campaign launch on the 8th of March right here on Compass Green, the red machine known as the PPM has been moving forward. Moving forward and setting the standard for all the rest to follow. And you know, when you're following, it means you're behind. And they have been following us indeed. So it's only fitting and to be expected that the PPM would be the first political group to launch its manifesto. By next week, you'll hear that the other groups are publishing their manifestos too. But we are first out of the gate, and tonight is our night. We're moving forward, so let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to stand as we invite Vashti to sing Beloved Isle, Cayman, our national song.
Road
Thank you, Vashti. I'll now invite Pastor Terrence Bob to lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father and our God, we thank you for the blessings and for the favor and the freedom that you've granted to us as a nation. Thank you, God, for the prosperity and the peace that we enjoy here in these Cayman Islands. God, we pray particularly for the People's Progressive Movement as they launch their manifesto, that you will guide all the speakers and presenters. Lord, we ask for goodwill and civility to prevail during this campaign season. God, we pray for your wisdom and your guidance on all of the candidates. Let your protection and your peace rest upon them and all their family members. Father, your word says that righteousness exalts a nation. And so, God, we pray, cause our policies be in keeping with your word, and let all our decisions as leaders be pleasing to you. Lord, I pray for wisdom, for the leadership of this body, for the executive, and for all of the candidates. I pray that your will be done in every one of these 19 constituencies and in the lives of these candidates. We ask, O God, for your supernatural intervention in your elections, in these elections, and cause, O God, your will to be done. And may your blessing and your guidance rest upon this meeting tonight, and we'll be careful to give you the praise, the honor, and the glory. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Pastor. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alden McLaughlin. I am not a candidate in these elections, although I've been a candidate in one or two before. But I remain the chairman of the People's Progressive Movement, the most important, most significant, and the best force for good in politics the Cayman Islands has ever known. I have said more than once and in many places that what distinguishes the PPM from most of the other political organizations, entities, and groupings that come and go over the years is that we subscribe to a very fundamental philosophy about what governing should be. And we are not a cult of personality. And that is why, with seeming ease, it was possible for the Honorable Cartibitz to pass the leadership of the PPM to me, and for me to pass it to the Honorable Roy McTaggart, and for him recently to pass it to Joey Hugh. Because, as I've said more than once, we belong to the party as its leaders, but the party does not belong to us. The party belongs to you, the people. So tonight is our manifesto meeting. Our manifesto is not just a pretty document or a marketing tool. It is our party's commitment to you, our people, of what we will do to fix the things that are wrong in Cayman, improve the quality of life for Caymanians and residents, and provide you with more opportunities to thrive and prosper in your own islands. Our manifesto is a document you, our people, can use to hold us accountable and to judge us by over the course of the next term. Last elections, the PPM was the only party that contested the elections. There was only one other small group of 3 that contested the elections, and all the remainder were independents. And most of them had their own documents that they called manifestos. So when, in the aftermath of the elections, Cayman wound up with the pact government made up of independents, each of whom had his or her own agenda, there was no doubt that that government was doomed from the start. The good book teaches a house divided against itself cannot stand. PACT, led by Wayne Panton, proved to be the most disastrous government Cayman has ever known. In less than 4 years, the legacy of PACT has given us 2 premiers, 4 deputy premiers, 3 speakers, and more ministerial changes than I can remember. And that is why voting for a party that has a published manifesto that all of its candidates have signed up to is so very important. You know in advance who and what you're voting for, and you know who the premier and the deputy premier will be should the party prevail at the elections. Voting for independence is like buying a lottery ticket. Any number could play, and you might get lucky. But as recent history has proven, it is not the way to elect a stable government. Finally, acknowledging that a government made up of independents is a recipe for chaos, in the past few months, 2 other groups of political hopefuls have registered political parties. These are the Cayman Community Party, led by Wayne Panton and Andre Ebanks, we're not sure which one, more commonly called Andre and the Quitters, and the Cayman Islands National Party, otherwise known as the Sin Party, and also known as Dan and the Pretenders. But both of these parties are parties in name only. One has a very poor track record in government and is best known for instability and quitting. And the other party has no track record at all. Even more astounding, not even one of its candidates have any previous experience in politics or in government, yet its leader wants to be premier. Daddy used to tell me that it's only 2 jobs he knew of that you can start at the top. One is a well digger and the other a grave digger. All other jobs you have to work your way up, getting experience along the way. Anybody can captain the ship when she's tied up alongside. But when you need an experienced captain is when the storms roll in, like Hurricane Ivan did. When a pandemic threatens the lives of our people, like COVID did. And when you have to deal with financial crises like the looming global trade war that has now begun. That's when you need the proven, stable leadership that only the PPM can provide. And so, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, a number of our candidates are going to outline for you from our manifesto how the PPM intends to deal with some of the most critical concerns that the people of these islands are facing. Please watch the screens.
My name is Matthew Banks and I'm 33-year-old. We all the struggling of education is that we don't have anything much benefits for ourselves. How I see myself struggling, but education is important thing that we have to come back for school and to educate ourselves, and most importantly, inclusion of special needs as well.
Our candidate who will address those issues is Alva Saku, candidate for Newlands. Alva has a strong record of service over 2 terms as a parliamentary representative. He returns to public service strengthened by a new legal qualification, a deeper understanding of Newlands' needs, and the backing of the PPM. In times of crisis, he stepped up, distributing educational technology and organizing emergency support during the pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the podium candidate for Newlands, Mr. Alva Saku.
Good evening, Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. I can't leave the sister islands out of this because we just got back from there. And we had a wonderful meeting in support of our Madam Premier, Ms. Julie. Please give her a huge round of applause. We're all a little tired now, but we're pushing forward. I want to say a special hello to the people in Newlands, whether you're here in person or whether you'll be viewing this through online media. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is a great privilege for me to share our plans for elevating education and entrepreneurship with you all as we stand together to build a brighter future for these Cayman Islands. My personal journey, like so many of you, has been shaped by opportunity, challenge, education, hard work, and that quiet strength we find from starting over when life demands it. Some say you need to be the top student in the room to succeed. I say you just need to keep showing up, keep learning, and keep building. And that is my story. In fact, some of the most successful entrepreneurs of this era who have helped shape this world, people like Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, Mark Zuckerberg, Jay-Z, Bill Gates, were not at the top of their class. Indeed, many didn't walk across the graduation stage as valedictorians, but those who walked with determination and enthusiasm found that they were able to open the doors that changed their own and countless other lives over and over again. And speaking from my own personal experiences, I have found my way from high school in Cayman to DePaul University in Chicago, Illinois, to Syracuse University in New York, and my achievements range from designing banking systems at Cayman National Bank to becoming the first global IT director at Walker's Attorneys at Law. From being a small business owner to standing right here tonight as your candidate for Newlands. From being the former deputy leader of the opposition to the admitted attorney at law. Indeed, every step I took was fueled by a hunger to learn, to contribute, and to build something meaningful. I tell you all these things not to boast, ladies and gentlemen, but to make one thing very clear. When education is accessible and entrepreneurship is encouraged, Caymanians will rise. And that is why I am so proud to stand behind the PPM's plan to transform these 2 significant areas that so changed my own life. I believe we can make the Cayman Islands a regional mecca for education, particularly in business, finance, technology, and tourism, leveraging the world-class expertise that we already have present here in these very islands. We must start by improving teaching quality in our public schools, which we recognize as the foundation for raising student achievement. We know our teachers are making real efforts, and we will continue to support all of them by enhancing recruitment, retention, and professional development of teachers through our new Teachers Mentoring Program, recognizing and rewarding excellence while spreading best practices throughout our education system. We will transform school governance through new governing bodies that will include parents and business leaders, giving communities a direct voice in school management. By involving parents and business leaders in new school governing bodies, teachers will benefit from stronger community support and more responsive decision-making that addresses their real classroom needs. Schools must become more accountable, better resourced, and more closely aligned with the skills and values needed to prepare our students for success in today's Cayman. These oversight governing bodies must and will be in place by the 2026-2027 academic year. That is our commitment. We will create modern, positive learning environments by investing in technology, updating teaching materials, and school facilities. We will bring forward plans for a new high school to prevent overcrowding and to prioritize maintenance projects at existing schools. We will improve services for students with special education needs and disabilities, SEND. We will extend the support available through the Lighthouse School and increase the capacity of the school by expanding the current campus. We will improve the SEND or SEND provision in mainstream schools so that support is better tailored to the individual learning needs of particular students. With these in place, ladies and gentlemen, we believe every child should be taught in a public school rated good or better. Rated good or better by the school's inspectorate before the end of our 4-year term. Our children deserve nothing less. The PPM recognizes that academic excellence must be complemented by robust technical and vocational education, and we will create a significant change in this area by developing skills pathways to jobs in future industries, particularly digital sectors, with extending learning in coding, robotics across all curriculum stages, by creating new TVET courses in our public schools and further education center, with increased work placements and internships connecting students directly to local businesses. Thank you. We will by supporting more apprenticeships linked to formal qualification, ensuring Caymanians of all ages have access to training and retraining opportunities. For industries like construction, where labor shortages are filled by work permit holders, we will attach a new fee to work permits to fund our expanded TVET provision for Caymanians. These will be furthered by the creation of a new national workforce and skills development strategy to upskill and reskill Caymanians who are already in the workforce. This will dovetail with the strategy of diversifying the economy to ensure Caymanians can access higher skilled, higher paid jobs, opportunities in industries where the demand for labor will definitely be increasing. Ladies and gentlemen, compliance with the National Workforce Strategy will be a requirement for companies seeking work permits. This will ensure that in the years ahead, Caymanians will be able to develop their skills and advance their careers, and that they will no longer face the barriers to advancement that too many find today. While skills development for our workforce is essential, we also recognize that learning enriches all aspects of our lives. Education isn't just about preparing for jobs. It's about growing as individuals and strengthening our communities. That is why we will establish all three Cayman Islands as UNESCO Learning Islands, inspired by their successful Learning Cities model. This initiative will make educational opportunities more accessible, more engaging, and more enjoyable for everyone, from our youngest children to our most senior citizens. Just imagine learning that extends beyond the classroom walls into the community centers, our businesses, and our homes. This holistic approach to education will foster lifelong learning that develops not just our economy, but our culture, our connections, and our collective well-being. When individuals receive appropriate education and skill development, entrepreneurship naturally follows. Critical thinkers become problem solvers, and creative ideas transform into businesses. The PPM will nurture this process by expanding the Cayman Islands Center for Business Development to provide comprehensive support to micro and small businesses, including improved access to financing. We will introduce specialist advisors to support Caymanian business development in key growth sectors, creating tailor-made programs to encourage more women to become small business owners. We will reform government procurement to increase the share for Caymanian small businesses in contracts under $250,000. We will introduce a prompt payment guarantee, ensuring that all small business invoices are paid by the government within 28 days. And we will eventually improve this to 21 days. We will reduce red tape and fees where possible for small businesses. We will ensure that small businesses feel as valued as the big businesses that operate in our economy. And ladies and gentlemen, I have saved the initiative I am particularly excited about for last, which is our new Youth Entrepreneur Support, or YES program. After the 2021 election, I found myself unemployed. I had to start over. I created a new business from scratch. I know what it's like to struggle, to bootstrap, and to make every dollar count. That is why I am so personally connected to and invested in this part of our manifesto. As part of the YES program, any Caymanian aged 18 to 30 can bring their business ideas to the Center for Business Development and receive guidance to develop a viable business plan. It gets better. Through the program, they will become eligible for grants up to $10,000. That will be doubled to $20,000 for digital or environmental protection businesses, in addition to tailored support for their first 2 years of operation. This program will give young entrepreneurs the track record they need to attract further investment and bank financing. Ladies and gentlemen, when I speak to our youth, I hear many of the same dreams I once had. But I want them to see clearer pathways than I did. The true measure of our islands should not be found solely in the luxury of our resorts, in the achievements, but in the achievements of our children and the businesses that they build. This is the legacy the PPM commits to today. At Cayman, where education and opportunity are not privileges for some, but birthrights for everyone. My fellow Caymanians, I began this journey as a student with ambition. I continued it as an entrepreneur with vision. I stand before you now as a representative with purpose. The choice before us is very simple. We can either maintain the status quo and watch more generations struggle against unnecessary barriers, or we can collectively transform our systems now to unleash the full potential of our people. I choose transformation. I choose a future where every Caymanian child receives world-class education and the support they need to achieve their dreams. I choose a Cayman where entrepreneurs find support and not obstacles. I choose progress, ladies and gentlemen. And so I am asking you on April 30th, choose progress. Choose proven, stable leadership. Choose the PPM. I want to thank you all for listening to our plans for education and entrepreneurship tonight. We have a lot of speakers coming up who are going to talk about different areas of our manifesto. But thank you all so much for being here tonight, for listening to our plans. And we ask you again, April 30th, please support the PPM for proven, stable leadership. Thank you all.
Forward, forward, forward with PPM. We're barely surviving, the hike and the pricing, when we should be thriving, 'cause these are our islands. People come to...
Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it again for Alva Saku, the candidate for Newlands? Folks, I know we all like the rah-rah meetings. You know, I love them too. But this is not one of those rah-rah meetings. Our candidates are going to be talking about serious things, explaining most of the critical subjects that appear in the manifesto. And we have enough manifestos for every one of you to have one before you leave. So I guess I'll have to do the little rah-rah business every now and again to keep you going.
I tell you the truth. As seniors, you have some good days and some bad days. Well, what I would like to see different for seniors, have a place where we can go and relax and be comfortable. It would be almost like home in our place, but then it's someplace else that all us seniors can get together and live as one, how we were in days gone by.
To speak to the issue of seniors is someone who for over 30 years has been a trusted voice in Caymanian media, shaping how we stay informed. She has become our longest-serving television broadcaster, bringing integrity and accountability to the public. Now, she's ready to serve Savannah with the same dedication. A mentor and advocate, she has empowered young Caymanians, creating opportunities and building confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the podium the candidate for Savannah, none other than Miss Donna Bush.
Forward, forward, forward with PPM. We're barely surviving the hike in the price.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, Cayman. Good evening. Miss Vernice, I know you're here. Thank you so much for doing that video. And just so you know, the Central Scranton Park is going to have that place that you're talking about. Good evening to everyone here. Those who are here in person, and of course those who are listening and watching at home, and even those out in the cars. Welcome. My name is Donna Bush, as they just said, and I am representing one of the most beautiful districts on the island, Savannah. I know firsthand the weight that aging places on our people and our families. I do. I want you to know that senior care is not just a part of our manifesto here tonight for me. It is woven into every direction of my life. Every week, my eldest daughter serves our elderly community through her career in healthcare. I experience firsthand the profound responsibility of helping my siblings support my aging mother. And with each passing year, I become increasingly aware that I too am approaching the golden years that should represent the peak of a life well lived. So when I talk about senior care, I'm not drawing from policy briefings. I'm drawing from real life experiences. The sacred text reminds us in Proverbs 16:31 that gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained in a righteous life. These words have a very deep meaning for me. They reflect truth. Our elders deserve not just an opportunity to survive, but our commitment to their dignity. Yet, too often in modern society, we've all witnessed the exclusion of our senior citizens. Some face isolation, inadequate health care, financial insecurity, and the erosion of their independence and dignity. This is not just a failure of policy, folks. It is a moral failing that the People's Progressive Movement refuses to accept. We believe that aging should be a blessed season of life, characterized by security, purpose, community connection, and quality care. The PPM's plans for our seniors are clear, comprehensive, and compassionate. Because under proven stable leadership, we refuse to leave our older Caymanians behind. Let me take a few minutes to share with you a comprehensive blueprint that addresses the multifaceted needs of our senior citizens across all 3 Cayman Islands. This is not just a plan that serves the privileged few or the politically connected. This is a vision that embraces all our seniors, regardless of the district, background, or their circumstances. The cornerstone of dignity in aging is financial security. Is it not? The current pension system is inadequate for many of our retirees, forcing them to make impossible choices between medicine, housing, food, and utilities. The PPM, this group of people sitting behind me, is committed to comprehensive pension reform that ensures that every Caymanian can truly live with comfort and dignity in retirement, not merely surviving from month to month. Furthermore, we will institute automatic annual increases. Did you hear me? Automatic annual increases for our veterans, our seafarers, and long-serving civil service pensioners. And those adjustments will be tied to inflation rates directly. This means their purchase power will be protected against the rising cost of living, bringing stability and predictability. Through these reforms, we will ensure that the financial foundation of retirement is solid and sustainable. Healthcare accessibility represents another critical pillar of our vision. The PPM will expand the HSA program of geriatric clinics and ensure access to older persons' health care on all 3 Cayman Islands. We will extend the range of services that are available through these clinics to develop effective responses to the main long-term conditions impacting older persons, which includes things like dementia, diabetes, heart disease, and COPD, and those illnesses which significantly impact quality of life, such as arthritis and joint pain. We're experiencing those if you're a certain age, and sight and hearing loss. Nevertheless, we do recognize prevention represents our most powerful tool for extending not just the length of life, but its quality. So the PPM will launch a new program of prevention and treatment that's focused on cardiovascular disease with a target to reduce deaths from that disease by 1/3. Our plans beyond the financial and healthcare components to tackle isolation, which poses one of the greatest threats to our seniors. Loneliness is a killer. It really is. To combat the potential cognitive and physical decline of our older persons living in relative isolation, as well as to provide a setting through which enhanced services can be easily accessed. We will extend the daycare activities, Ms. Vernice, currently offered through the Pines for older persons on Grand Cayman, and we will look to extend satellite provision to Kim and Brack. The PPM will support and expand the work that's being led by the Alzheimer's and Dementia Association of the Cayman Islands, Ms. Dorothy, to make the Cayman Islands more dementia-friendly. I think it's wonderful. We will prioritize the implementation of the recently revised older persons policy to target it more effectively at promoting health and well-being and supporting older persons to prevent illness. We'll enhance the range of activities for older persons to ensure they stay connected with the communities in which they live and to help improve their quality of life. This will include a new focus on intergenerational activities to help bridge any gap that is emerging between our older Caymanians and the younger generations. My fellow Caymanians, this comprehensive vision represents the PPM's love and commitment to those who have helped to build our nation. And I want to be clear tonight. The PPM will serve all senior citizens, not just some. not just the few, as I said earlier, are those who are politically connected. From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, every senior citizen deserves dignity, security, and quality care. Every elder deserves to experience aging as the blessing that it should be, rather than the burden it has become too often. As I help to care for my mother and watch my daughter's dedication to her elderly patients, it reaffirms why I chose to run with the PPM. It reaffirms why we are the people's choice. It reaffirms why we are the only proven, stable leadership team that can deliver on these crucial promises to our seniors. It is a genuine, deep-seated commitment to our people, to all Caymanians, not just a chosen few. That is the PPM difference. Together, we will ensure that every senior citizen across our beautiful Cayman Islands can live their golden years with dignity, respect, and the support that they so richly deserve. The way we care for our elders reveals the true character of our nation. It does, folks. Believe it or not, it does. I invite you to join me. Join the People's Progressive Movement in creating a Cayman Islands where a crown of gray hair is truly honored, and where the footprints of our elders guide us towards an even brighter tomorrow. I want to say a heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you that are here tonight. I know that my colleagues here on the stage tonight that are part of the PPM team, we so appreciate your support from the sister islands, Cayman Brac, East West, and Little Cayman, from North Side to Georgetown. We are so thankful for your support. And we ask that when you go to the polls on April 30th, that you will vote for your PPM candidate. Thank you, and have a blessed night.
Forward, forward, forward with PPM.
I am obviously supporting PPM for this election cycle. I'm a young kid.
We're getting ahead of ourselves there now. Hang on. Folks, isn't Donna absolutely incredible? What a fine MP she's going to be.
I am Dr. McLaughlin. I am obviously supporting PPM for this election cycle. I'm a young Caymanian and I don't have children yet, but I can only imagine how difficult it's going to be for my children 20 years from now when they want to buy land, when they want to buy a piece of property, when they want to find a home for their children. And I think that that is something that scares me, and it scares a lot of young Caymanians, and it's something that we really need addressed in this country, because if we can't own a piece of our own country, something is seriously wrong.
To speak to the concerns of the next generation, this young lady embodies a unique fusion of family legacy and modern leadership. She understands your daily challenges firsthand. She sees the impact of rising costs on family budgets, experiences the morning traffic alongside you, and shares your concerns about neighborhood safety. While others talk about change, she has already been working on practical plans to tackle prospects' cost of living crisis, enhance road safety, and create new opportunities for our youth. Ladies and gentlemen, Please help me welcome Crystal Gomez Wilson, candidate for Prospect.
Forward with PPM. We're barely surviving the hike in the pricing when we should be thriving, 'cause these are our islands.
Good evening, Cayman. Good evening, Prospect. Is anybody here from Prospect tonight? Yes. Good evening to my colleagues. Good evening to our leader, Honorable Joey Hugh. Good evening to our deputy leader, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. And good evening to our MC and chairman, Mr. Alden McLaughlin. If you had asked me 3 years ago if I would be standing here tonight on a political platform, running for office, I would have said absolutely not. But here I am, and I am honored to speak for the next generation of Cayman. Running for office has proven to be one of the most challenging experiences of my life. But without a doubt, it has also been the most rewarding. I've knocked on doors, I've heard your stories, I've looked into the eyes of young Caymanians and parents who are trying to hold it together. And through it all, I've gained even more strength and conviction that this is exactly where I am meant to be, serving you. This journey isn't about ambition, it's about duty. Duty to my son and daughter, the driving force behind every action. Duty to young Caymanians like me with young children trying to build a future. And duty to the country that raised me, that I love with every fiber of my being. My name, again, is Crystal Gomez Wilson, and I am proud to stand before you tonight as a mother, a wife, a Caymanian woman, and a daughter of this soil, who understands what it means to want more for your children, for your community, and for your country. I am running to serve the people of Prospect, and as a first-time candidate, I bring new energy that this constituency so desperately needs. I can walk the length of Prospect and back and not be out of breath. There's no baggage with me, and I've said this before, there's no anger. I am just here to get things done. So even though I am new, that does not mean that I am not qualified, because I have a deep love for this country, and I will bring some incredible energy to this government. My parents believed in one powerful truth, and I have to thank a lot of them, well, both of them, and my brother for being here tonight. They believe that education is the key. They taught me that education, when nurtured and supported, leads not just to a job, but to a career. Really, Cayman Airways? A career that leads to home ownership then leading to responsibility, and responsibility leading to stability. And stability is the foundation of a strong Cayman. That's why the word stability has become a part of the PPM mantra, because if something isn't stable, it will fall. No matter the sacrifice, my parents knew that their greatest investment was in their children. Like many of you, I worked hard, I stayed focused, and I followed the roadmap that I believed would lead me to success. And yet, at some point, I found myself asking, can I really build a future here? Then when I had my son and daughter, the driving force again behind my every action, that question changed. And it changed to, can I now afford to raise my children here? How many of you have asked yourself that question? How many of you have felt that same uncertainty? Because I have. I'm standing here tonight as somebody that had to walk away from a job to pursue this with 2 young children that I need to put through school. That is how much I believe in the PPM. I've juggled bills, faced deadlines that I couldn't meet, and responsibilities while trying to hold on to hope. And I've seen bright Caymanians pack up and leave, not because they didn't love Cayman, but because they felt they didn't have a choice. But this is our home, and we should not have to leave to survive. Tonight, I stand here with hope, with purpose, and with a team ready to act, not talk, for the betterment of our families, our communities, and our country. We're not just offering promises wrapped in ribbon. We're offering a real plan built by people who have lived these challenges, like myself, that are ready to solve them. Sorry. As a mother, nothing matters more to me than the health and well-being of our children. And if you've ever been a first-time parent, you know the fear that comes when your child spikes a fever in the middle of the night. You're on Google, you're trying to figure out what's wrong, you don't know what to do, you're panicking. That's your heart right there, and you don't know what to do. Should I take them to the doctor? Can I afford it? Will it be covered? No parent should ever hesitate to take their child to a doctor. So this is why I'm proud, truly proud, that the PPM will deliver a free, comprehensive healthcare plan for every Caymanian child. Yes, I said free, and yes, comprehensive. This plan, which will be called the Healthy for Life Plan, includes immunizations, dental checkups, eye exams, mental health care, which is so important, chronic condition and disability support, and urgent care. So when your child does spike that fever at 2 a.m., you won't hesitate to go to the doctor. And we will fund this in our very first budget, because only a proven, experienced team knows how to deliver big ideas without compromising financial responsibility. And let's be honest, Mr. Roy McTaggart knows a thing about managing a budget. But we're not stopping there. We believe in investing in our children from day one. A lot of you may have heard me talk about preventative measures, and this is why we are rolling out a comprehensive early years development strategy that supports our children in school, at home, and in the community. This means early detection of special needs. If your child suffers from any special need, whether it be ADHD, whether it be autism, all of these things need to be identified so that they can get the education tailored to what will work best to make them successful. Expanding access to childcare, especially in underserved areas, and more support, and this is something that is very dear to my heart, more support for parents and caregivers who are trying their best but just need a little help. I can't tell you how many times I've picked up caregivers around my area that can't pay their rent. They're putting their heart and soul into taking care of our elderly, but they're struggling. Parents who don't know what to do come 3 o'clock because they have to maintain a job, but how are they supposed to, they can't leave their children at home by themselves. So these things are very, very, very important to me, because raising a child shouldn't feel like a solo mission. It takes a village, and it is time that we strengthen ours. This is what proven, stable leadership looks like. We've lived the challenges, we've listened, we've learned, and now we are ready to lead. If you want a Cayman where families are supported, where children are protected, where Caymanians can live, thrive, and own a piece of their own country, then there is only one team with the plan, with the passion, and with the track record to make it happen, the PPM. On April 30th, vote for the only team that has delivered real results for Caymanians while managing public finances responsibly. Vote for the PPM. Vote for stable, proven leadership. Let's build the Cayman our children deserve. I am Crystal Gomez-Wilson, your PPM candidate for Prospect, and the voice for all of the families, women, and future generations to come. Over the last few months, I have given you 1.6 million reasons to vote for the PPM. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to give you 1.6 million more. On April 30th, vote for the PPM. It is time to move what direction?
Forward, forward, forward with PPM.
Good night, everyone.
We're barely surviving, the hike in the pricing, when we should be fighting, 'cause these are our islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quitter.
Let's hear it again for Crystal Gomez-Wilson for Prospect. She is a little dynamo. Folks, we had an incredible meeting in Cayman Brac last night. That was as good as any I've ever been to in Cayman Brac. And that allows me to segue neatly into what I want to say to you. I want to tell you all a little story. So, just before Parliament was dissolved, when all the members were saying their goodbye speeches, well, some not goodbye, but some, I hope to be back, I did this, I did that, and so forth and so on. So MP Chris Saunders, during his wind-up, said something along the lines of, Madam Premier, I hope you would change your mind and run again, if only to keep that other one from getting in here who want to get in here and sell off all the government assets. So that went viral, and the person that was being referred to, the leader of the Sin Party, Mr. Dan Scott. So Mr. Dan Scott felt it necessary to respond to that video that went viral. And in his response, I love you, but ease me up, no man. All right. In his response, he denied that the Sin Party would sell off these assets, which included Radio Cayman, the Government Administration Building, Water Authority, the Turtle Farm, HSA, the Faith Hospital, Cayman Brac, etc., etc. He said that the report that was referred to, which is a report written by his firm, EY, which had been commissioned by my government in 2014, he was the managing partner, that was about a different, a set of circumstances and a different situation in which Cayman Islands found itself back then, and the current situation would be very different. He claimed that government was in a great financial crisis, and that's why the report was written the way it was written. But the truth of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, is that Cayman Islands government was not in any financial crisis when we commissioned the report. We wanted to look at other ways that we could raise additional revenue to do more, and how we could save money, because the more money you save, the more money you can spend on things that people of the country need. Ladies and gentlemen, I've always been told that past conduct is the best indicator you can have of future performance. The point I am going to make to you very briefly now is I said at the start that you had one party, the what is the name? Andre and the Quitters, who have a very poor record in government, a record of instability, and a record of quitting. And the Sin Party, led by Dan Scott, has no track record at all. So because they have no track record at all, we have to try to figure out what they would do when they get into office. So it seems to me, and just little old me now, that what we are talking about is your philosophy of how to govern, what you believe the responsibility of government is. The critical and most important responsibility of government is to look after its people. It's not about selling things so you can have loads of money to put in government accounts. The money in the accounts is supposed to help our people. So let's say, which is not true, that the Cayman Islands government in 2014 was in serious financial difficulty. So you sell the government administration building that we just built then for $90 million. You sell off the Water Authority, you sell off HSA, you sell off the Turtle Farm, even Radio Cayman. I don't know what he got against Radio Cayman. Even Radio Cayman. You sell it. As far as I know, once you sell something, you don't have it no more. So the next time you get in a jam, what are you going to sell again? Our government rejected the report in its entirety. It is the worst $190,000 the Cayman Islands government ever spent, I believe. That's what they charged us for it. And in the 8 years that we were there, we managed to do all the things that we did. We didn't borrow one single dollar long term. We paid down $325 million in debt. And we never sold Radio Cayman or the Turtle Farm or the Faith Hospital or the HSA. So I wanted to make sure that the people in Cayman Brac understood what they were voting for, what they would be voting for if they voted for Dan Scott. So last night, I played them this little video. I hope you enjoy it.
They commissioned a report by EY to give them options as it related to how they could free up capital to make much needed investment in a variety of things, including infrastructure. That report was produced at a time when I was the managing partner of Ernst & Young in Cayman.
In 2014, the Cayman Islands government was faced with financial crisis.
Debt to GDP, 25.6%, declining, $108 million surplus, $162 million in cash reserves, stable revenue and low unemployment. The Cayman Islands budget outlines a sound current position for Cayman and uptrending economic prospects.
You liar! Danny the man with the sellout plan. Oh, what will happen to Cayman? If he get power, Cayman gone, 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 and it won't take long. Listen carefully to my song. With Dan and Pan, it won't take long. Gone, gone, Cayman, gone. Radio Cayman, it gone, gone, gone. Water Authority, gone too. Cayman Airways, gone, gone, gone. Turtle Farm, it's gone too. No more turtle meat for you.
We can't manage without the turtle meat. The turtle meat is just as important as Cayman Airways, as far as I'm concerned. We're not selling off nothing. Dan the man with the sellout plan, make him stay home. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to invite to the podium an incredible individual who I believe has forgotten more about accounting than Dan Scott ever learned. The Honorable Roy McTaggart was first elected in 2013 and re-elected in 2017 and 2021. He served as Councillor, now Parliamentary Secretary, to the Ministry of Health from 2013 to 2017. During the 2017 to 2021 term, he served as Minister for Finance and Economic Development. A dedicated member of the Progressives, the PPM, he was elected as political leader of the party in March 2021 and subsequently appointed leader of the opposition. He transitioned both posts to the Honorable Joey Hugh in a run-up to these elections. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the podium the previous and next Minister of Finance and Economic Development, the Honorable Roy McTaggart.
Forward, forward, forward with PPM. We're barely surviving, the hike in the pricing, when we should be thriving, 'cause these are our islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quick dies. Experience the leader, something needs to happen. When it's something tried and true, to create a better future, we need you with you.
All right. I like it, you know. I don't even have to prompt you. I hear you talking about we need Joey Hugh. Son, which way we're moving? Forward with who? And who leading us? Let me see if you remember this one. What time is it? They never fail. Never fails. Good evening, Cayman. Good evening, especially to those of you from Georgetown. Let me hear it from those in Georgetown East. I know you're here. You know, I see the truck out there. That's the kind of horn you want to hear tonight. What about the cars? I hear them. Make them loud. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening again, and thank you for your welcome. Starting to lose my papers here. What a great crowd, and what a wonderful sea of red again this evening. It is so wonderful to see it. Special greetings to those of my constituents from Georgetown East. I seen quite a number of you here this evening, and you've shown your presence in your response. Good night to all of Cayman, and wherever you are watching our live stream around the world. My conversation with you tonight will focus on the importance of the robust management of our economy and the necessity for good governance of our national affairs. When it comes to the economy, there are a few things that I will get to in a minute that are very important. Before I do, I want you to remember one thing. If you don't remember anything else tonight, it is easy to point out what is wrong. Anybody can do it. But every Caymanian who must pay a bill or raise a family knows the issues. It's another thing entirely to know what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, correct the problem. When to do it to correct the problem. That, my friends, is a huge advantage that this PPM team brings to the table. Let me remind you of a few facts to illustrate my point. When the PPM came to power in 2013, we were confronted with a huge national debt. At the time, it was about 600 million, and the country was running a fiscal deficit. The result of this was that we had lost the right to manage our own affairs. You remember that? Good. Our budgets had to be approved in London. I think it easily the greatest achievement of the 2013 PPM government that we were able to repatriate the budget process and approval of it back to Grand Cayman. And there's something I know you probably do not know, that when we found ourselves in that position, we sent a delegation to London to meet with the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. We presented a plan with a commitment that we would restore Cayman's fiscal compliance in 4 years by the end of our first term. But we met that requirement, and we did it and completed it by the end of our third. Why? Truly commitment and a desire to make sure that our future and our budgeting and spending plans were kept in our hands and not 4,000 miles away. During our 2 terms in office, we were able to pay down debt every single year. We had surpluses every single year and no new debt except for the one line of credit of $330 million that I put in place during the pandemic as an emergency backup in the event of a global economic meltdown. I must also remind you that shortly after taking office, the PACT government drew down that line of credit and spent most, if not all of it, over the course of their term in office. The result of it was that the country's national debt increased by over 100%, and with precious little to show for it. You see, ladies and gentlemen, government is about choices. We chose not to implement Dan Scott's plan in 2014 to sell off the family silver, choosing prudent fiscal management instead. We repaid over $325 million in debt so that by the time we left office, the national debt was down to $248 million, the lowest it had been in more than 2 decades. Anyone want to take a stab at what it is tonight? According to the latest financial report at the end of September 2024, it stood at $421 million. And the pre-election financial update that was released just this past week indicated that the government is about to borrow a further $150 million before the end of this fiscal year. Yes, you heard me right. That's over $500 million that we must now repay. So when the other groups in this election, ladies and gentlemen, tell you, don't go with the PPM, and believe me, their voices can be heard, you tell them that you know our record. You know who you can trust. You know you can trust us to deliver the sound finances that we need now. And everyone on my team here tonight is committed to that philosophy. Managing the economy is about much more than debt and surpluses. It touches almost every aspect of our daily lives. As Minister of Finance, I must consider if I do this or instead do that, what effect it will have on ordinary people. Those are the kind of decisions that kept me up at night. This is no time, ladies and gentlemen, to be flying by the seat of our pants or learning on the job. The world around us right now is just too volatile to take that risk. We know that financial services and tourism are the cornerstones of our economy. It's been that way for decades. They provide the bulk of the money that government uses to build schools, improve the hospital, give grants to the vulnerable, pay civil servants, and so on. Even though I may not be the minister in charge of financial services or tourism, I have a direct interest in how they are performing. I can use policy measures to protect and grow the 59% of Caymanian workforce in financial services. I can and will protect Caymanian jobs by providing the finances to reform and regulate the work permit system. And I will provide the budgets to keep our financial services competitive and compliant. That is extremely important because our survival depends on it. We are going to reopen the Washington office and a new office in Brussels to keep us at the heart of decision making. The secret sauce to the way the PPM governs is that we come together as a team to arrive at a consensus on what to prioritize. We work together and we discuss before we prioritize. And I'll be honest with you, we don't always agree. You can account on, with 13 of us here, we will have disagreements. Not everyone will agree with the proposed approach. But discussion usually leads us through the same door. And we end up at the end of the day in agreeing in an approach and a policy that we can all support. There is no top-down, head honcho approach. We have all seen what happens with that style of governance. A new PPM government will introduce a public-facing performance management system so that the public can track our progress as we deliver on the commitments we are making here tonight and hold us to account. We don't mind holding ourselves up to scrutiny. Our first strategic policy statement will turn the commitments made in this manifesto into a program for government. Alongside our first two-year budget coming to 2026 and 2027, we will publish implementation plans for the priorities we have set, and the budget itself will steer the available resources to those priorities. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a fundamental difference in how we approach accountability and others asking you for your vote on April 30th. We don't just talk. We have a clear plan. Right here, so. And you can take it home with you tonight, put it by your bedside table, and read a few pages every night before you go to bed. I am sure that you will sleep well. Not because ladies and gentlemen, we will also expand the economy into new areas to create new jobs and widen the base of economic activity to become less reliant on financial services and tourism. Real opportunities exist in the technology sector where we will develop a digital hub to encourage tech startups through tax incentives, grants, and a supportive regulatory framework. Renewable energy is another area that will create jobs through investment in solar energy and battery storage. It has the added advantage of reducing our dependence on foreign oil that can reduce energy costs, and it is also sustainable. We will also support businesses in cultural, historical, and recreational activities to attract a broader range of visitors and provide employment opportunities for Caymanian artists, musicians, and other cultural practitioners. There will be similar support for training and businesses in the health sciences as our population ages and the need for elder care becomes more pronounced. Modern infrastructure is essential for economic growth. It provides jobs during the building phase, and once it is well planned, it drives growth in specific sectors and improves productivity and efficiency across the economy. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where priorities come into play. To facilitate the technology sector, we need fast, reliable internet connections. So investment in a third undersea communications cable becomes urgent for the country. Road and transportation improvements will deliver faster travel times, greater productivity, savings on fuel, and reduced carbon emissions, making this a priority for us. As we expand our stayover tourism product, we need to continue airport improvements in line with the master plan for all 3 islands. To give our children the best opportunities to fill the jobs created in the economy, we will ensure that school capacity provides sufficient places to meet future needs. Anybody from Cayman back here tonight? Were you in the BRAC last night? I told them all on the BRAC last night that the sister islands will not be left out. Not only will they not be left out, but they're not going to get left behind either. Their economies are dominated by small and micro businesses, which were especially hard hit by cost increases given their limited customer base. We will ensure that businesses on the sister islands are supported back to growth so that they can continue to provide jobs and prosperity. We will reduce the trade and business license fees for all micro enterprises on the sister islands to 0 through the end of 2026. All other businesses on the sister islands would pay only 10% of the relevant published fee for the same time period. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, sound economic management is vital for everyone, no matter your station in life, but especially so for the most vulnerable amongst us who always suffer most from poor choices and the hard times that follow. I could go on all night, but I think you get the point. A well-managed economy reaps rewards for everyone. This manifesto provides an extensive plan with well-thought-out policies to benefit all Caymanians. As Sir Alden says in his message, one party has no record. The other party has a record of failure. But we, the PPM, we have a proven record of success. And tonight, we did it over a period of two terms, 8 years, and also did it previously in 2005 to 2009. And so tonight I'm inviting every one of you to read the manifesto. There is something here for every single one. Vote for PPM candidates in your district on April 30th to make sure you get proven, stable leadership. It is important, no matter what district you are in, there is a PPM candidate, a red candidate, you make sure you cast your vote for that candidate. If you don't, then I can promise you what will end up happening is we'll end up back with all the horse trading again. And I know you don't want that. I know we don't want it. So please do us all a favor. Vote red, vote PPM, April 30th. And we will get stable, proven leadership. Thank you all for being such an attentive audience. Good night. God bless you all. And onward.
Forward, forward with PPM. We're barely surviving, the hike in the pricing, when we should be fighting, cause these are our islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quick dives. Experience the leader, something needs to happen. We need something tried and true to create a better future. We need you with you. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, I see the light again. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, forward with PPM. We're tired of the fighting. We need some uniting.
It is very much difficult to find affordable homes in Cayman, especially for Caymanians, especially for the younger Caymanians. I'm coming from a time where homes and apartments were very much affordable, talking like $900 a month. Now here we are, 2025. The banks have given so much interest on everything that it's impossible to obtain land or a home here in Cayman. If I left my country and came back as an expat, I can probably afford land and a home here. That's maybe funny, but it's heartbreaking to say the least.
Ladies and gentlemen, the candidate who will address the serious issue of housing on behalf of the PPM is someone that has a long track record of community service in his native district of Northside. From coaching your children in sports to planning for hurricane preparedness, Justin Ebanks has been making a difference in Northside for 27 years. His 15 years of business success mean he knows how to turn challenges into opportunities. He isn't just promising change, he's already delivering it through practical programs for youth development, cost of living relief, and community enhancement. He's ready to turn your concerns, not just about housing, but about a whole range of other problems, into action in Northside. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Justin Ebanks.
Forward, forward, forward with PPM. We're barely surviving, the hike in the pricing, when we should be fighting, cause these are our islands. People come together, let's change for the better.
Thank you, Sir McLaughlin, for that wonderful introduction. Good night, Cayman and my Cayman people. And a special good night to my Northside people, the people from the district I proudly represent. God bless you all, and thank you so much for coming out tonight, for taking the time, to having the interest. This process is all about you and for you, and it is so essential for you to be here tonight. We just want to thank you as a team for being here and taking the time. As Sir McLaughlin said, I'm going to cover one of the most critical, pressing issues this country is facing right now. That is housing. There was an old saying that I heard growing up that we still hear to this day. A man's home is his castle. That motto had a meaning. It was an incentive to go out and own your own home, no matter how humble it was. There was a time in Cayman when everyone owned a home or owned a piece of land. But sadly, as this country has expanded and developed and progressed, we are seeing that lost. But on April 30th, that is going to change. When you elect the new PPM team, it is not going to be business as usual. It is going to be resolved. It is simply not fair that the people of this country have opened their doors to the world and are now struggling to own homes and build homes in their own country. Like I said, there was a time in Cayman when every Caymanian owned a home or had land. There was a time when parents would give their children a lot of land to go out and build their own home. And those who didn't have family land and access to land, their parents and grandparents pushed them to go out and buy a piece of land, build a home. I can still hear my grandmother's voice in my head saying, Justin, when you get your first paycheck, go so buy 2 blocks and put down. Every paycheck, you make sure and buy 2 blocks and put down. And when you get enough blocks, son, you go to the bank and you get a loan to finish that house. Many of the homes in this country were built that way. That was a philosophy and a solution back in those days. Many homes that stand today were built just like that. People in the community and family came out and we bonded together and built homes to ease the financial strain on owning a home. The community raises a child, they also build a community. The homes that were built back then still stand to this day. Those homes that were meant for 1 and 2 generations sadly now see 3 and 4 generations under one roof because they simply cannot afford home ownership in this country. That is unacceptable for a country with this much wealth, a population manageable. That is why it is crucial and critical the PPM takes back control of this government to rectify this failing situation we are facing today. That is why I stand here tonight with this team, because I have sat and worked with this team and looked at multiple solutions to solve the one problem, housing crisis. We have a collective vision that is simple: to make life better for the people of this country and provide them with the quality of life they deserve to have living in the Cayman Islands. The PPM is committed to transforming the vision into reality through a series of innovative solutions and initiatives aimed at making both home ownership and renting more affordable. We haven't seen many resolutions or solutions to this growing crisis under the current administration, but instead a worsening scenario. Before 2021, under the PPM, they saw 126 homes built. 126 homes built, and they were sold between $115,000 and $125,000. Now that is affordable. But what we're seeing now is a small fraction of that number. Those homes are not being sold for $115,000 or $125,000 anymore. We're seeing those homes being sold for around $185,000, but we're understanding that they're being built for upwards and close to $300,000. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not affordable or sustainable, and we have to rectify that immediately. Home ownership shouldn't be a punishment. It shouldn't be something that we have to fear. I hear many people complain about the fact they have mortgages and house insurance that robs them from family vacations, takes away the ability to upgrade and fix those homes. We are simply falling behind because we have not put processes in place. We have not built policies. We have not sat down at the design table and outlined how we're going to fix it. But ladies and gentlemen, there's 12 people standing or sitting behind me. I make 13. And we are dedicated to being the solution this country needs. And that is why it's imperative that you vote for PPM this election, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm sitting here telling you how expensive home ownership is and how expensive house insurance is, and I just realized that I resigned from my job to run for politics. Wow, now that is faith. That is how much faith I have in the PPM and the people of Northside that I'm going to resign so I can represent them and solve this very same issue with my team and your support. So since we have a crisis, there's going to take multiple avenues to see success. So let me start on talking about the revamp to the government guaranteed home ownership mortgage program. First and foremost, we will revamp the government guaranteed home assistance mortgage to ensure that more Cayman families can access the finances they need to realize the dream of home ownership. This initiative will make it easier for families to obtain the necessary funds to purchase a home, thereby fostering prosperity, stability within our community. Ladies and gentlemen, that means that we're going to help those who want to help themselves to make sure they get over the hurdle of owning a home. We plan to expand the very same affordable scheme I just talked about. We're going to expand the affordable home housing. We will expand both ranges of affordable housing options, a number of units under construction by boosting funding availability to the National Housing Development Trust. This would enable us to offer a broader array of houses, solutions to meet the diverse needs for our population, ensuring that everyone has access to safe, secure, and affordable housing. If we don't have financial responsibility and a government that knows how to spend a dollar wisely to make sure you're getting value for your dollar, it won't happen. And like Mr. Roy McTaggart just said, we have a track record of spending money wisely and getting the best bang for our buck. Not only do we have to build these homes more efficiently and more effectively, we have to build them a little bit faster. The generations are catching up and need home ownership. The younger we can get them into homes, the better the mortgage rates are going to be. The faster we can get them on their feet into their own homes, that means that families can now move out from that 4 generations under one roof. We're also looking at the Build Your Own Property Initiative. Through the Build Your Own Property Initiative, we will extend support to bring more land into use for affordable housing for Caymanians. This initiative will empower individuals to build their own homes on their own property, increasing the availability of affordable housing and promoting self-sufficiency. This boils down to being financially responsible again. If we're going to repave all the existing roads in Cayman and pave all the driveways in certain districts, we'll never be able to afford to open up new roads for new lands to give our children new hope for home ownership. We have to start moving forward with our way of thinking and our way of spending. PPM, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to remind you all night of how crucial financial responsibility is and forward-thinking vision. Creating shared ownership options. We will work with developers and financing institutions to create more shared ownership options for first-time Cayman home buyers, to include rent-to-own options. These innovative solutions will provide new pathways to home ownership, making it more attainable for young Caymanians to invest in their future. This next one is quite simple. Not everyone in Cayman wants to own a home or a house. Some people just want somewhere to live. Not everyone wants to go out and cut a lawn, paint a house, and have to do it themselves. So we had to look at a rental solution for our people. So we plan to innovate solutions in the rental market. In the rental market, we will explore solutions including establishing a new social landlord scheme and working with the private sector to increase the affordable rental stock. By partnering with private entities, we can expand availability of affordable rental homes, ensuring that everyone has access to a quality housing solution reasonably priced. Now we encourage our young people to go overseas to finish their degrees to become the next solution to our country's problem. But to do that, many of them have to go out and get student loans. And some degrees require more funding. It is going to be hard for our kids to go overseas, finish their education, and come back and pay back student loans and try to get jobs and catch up and then own a home. So we've looked at something for them. We have something called the Key Worker Housing Guarantee. We will introduce new key worker housing guarantees to ensure that young Caymanian graduates in professions such as teaching, healthcare, are able to access affordable rented housing in Cayman rather than having to buy a home or opt to stay overseas because it is more affordable. This initiative will help retain our talented graduates and support the essential services they provide to our community. It will also provide them with the new opportunity to save for that deposit that is required when they do move out into their own home. I would clap extra hard for that because that's our young people coming back home. And they're going to need somewhere to live, ladies and gentlemen. Now this next one ties into Ms. Donna, Crystal, Mr. Roy's comments about making sure we pave the way for everyone and we have funding to take care of everyone, whether they be young or slightly older. We won't use the word old because my grandmother said everyone in life must get older, but no one has to get old. So lastly, we will develop new retirement communities to better meet the needs of our aging population and free up existing under-occupied housing for families. These communities will offer a safe and supportive environment for retirees, while also making more housing available for families in need. So we're going to fix the problem, ladies and gentlemen, for the younger generation, the existing workforce, and for those who plan to retire and want to kick up their feet and enjoy their hard work and not struggle with paying a mortgage past the age of 65. So as I wrap up tonight, I want to say to you all that this is not a job for individuals. This is not a job for teams who don't have cohesion and track records of success. This job is going to be successful when you have people who have already proven their ability to deliver on some of these very same issues. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking each and every one of you here and home tonight listening, please support the PPM so together we can build a brighter future and pave the way forward and make sure that the Caymanian people are living a better quality life. God bless you all and thank you all for coming out tonight.
Forward, forward, forward with PPM. We're barely surviving, the hike and the pricing, when we should be fighting, 'cause these are our islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quick dives, experience the
My name is Ed Powers. I have some issues that I see happening that really frustrate me. Like, for instance, Caymanians can't get jobs because of certain things with immigration policies, with the expats. And another thing I'm frustrated about is minimal wages. We cannot survive on the minimal wage as it is right now. And I think that need to change also. So, you know, that's my take. And we really frustrated about those things. Very frustrated. So I hope that they deal with those issues and put Caymanians first.
To speak to the issue and to the PPM's commitment to putting Caymanians first is none other than the current Deputy Premier and recently elected Deputy Leader of the PPM, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan. Popular guy. Kenneth was first elected in 2017 and has been re-elected since. With over 20 years of leadership in media, marketing, and public service, he has delivered real results, modernizing infrastructure, empowering communities, and driving sustainable growth. And he looks forward with great zeal and excitement to being part of the PPM's next government and to be its deputy leader. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Honorable Kenneth Bryan.
So please do the right thing for our Cayman Islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quick dance. Experience deliver, something needs to happen. We need something tried and true to create a better future. We need you with you. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, I see the light again. We're moving forward with PPM, forward with PPM, forward, forward with PPM. We're moving forward with PPM, forward with
Woo! Sorry, ma. All right, I need to give her a kiss. Without her, I wouldn't be here tonight. Put your hands together for Miss Vernice Myers in the house. Amen to that. Woo. She said, Kenneth Bryan is good as many and better than plenty. I like that one. I'm going to use that one in the next campaign meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Georgetown Central, are you out there? Make some noise. That's what I'm talking about. Before I get started, I just want to say I love that song so much. Forward. I wake up in the morning singing. Anybody wake up in the morning singing it yet? Play it every day, because you're going to hear it for another 8 years straight. Before I get started, I want to thank the good Lord, Heavenly Father. Thank you for the opportunities that you give us every day. I want to thank my mother. I want to thank my father. I know he's roaming around somewhere around here. He can't keep still. My mother sits down, but where he is? He going around? All right, he's somewhere around. I want to thank my amazing, beautiful wife. Stand up, baby. Nope, she's not going to say. She don't want to. And I want to thank my beautiful, amazing daughters for being there to support me every time. And I want to, you see that one? She's just like me, the one that make the knives just now. She's just like me. I want to thank the good people of Georgetown Central for allowing me to be your voice every single day. And I want to thank the Cayman Islands for being such a wonderful country, still the best place in the world to live every single day. That's right. Amen. Hallelujah. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm honored to present you the PPM solution to a few of the most troubling issues facing Caymanians, young and old, that makes them feel like this country is no longer their own. And some of those issues have to do with problems concerning immigration, jobs, some of the key things to survive. And I don't want to say that just to be dramatic. This is what you, my fellow Caymanians, have told me as I've walked the streets of Georgetown, not only in Georgetown Central. Tonight, I'm here to tell you what the PPM has created as a multi-pronged strategy to roll out and turn the tide to make our country and get it back and give it back to the people where it belongs. Now, don't get me wrong, these problems weren't created overnight, so they won't be totally fixed overnight. But I can guarantee you that the actions this group, this government, and these candidates will take will be visible,
There will be tangible differences, and you will see them and you will feel them immediately. So ladies and gentlemen, let me get straight to the point. There's far too many people in our country. And as my mother said on social media one day, she says, sorry, Cayman, full up. And there's too many people competing for housing, transportation, medical services, schools, and jobs. And at the root of the problem, if we drill down just a little bit more, is an immigration system that is ballooned out of control. And there is no other way to say that than it's out of control. And the knock-on effects that are affecting every single one of us here tonight and those who are watching by online streaming, they have affected us in one way, shape, or form. The housing shortage is causing rents to rise and housing costs to be through the roof and out of the reach of every Caymanian young person. The traffic problem has made worse by too many cars on our roads. Caymanians are being pushed out of the job market by cheap labor that comes in by the loads every evening. Our healthcare and our education system services provided by government is breaking under the pressures of having to serve too many people while our senior citizens have to wait 3 and 4 weeks just to make an appointment to see the doctor. Have to sit in hours of traffic to get our children to school because of uncontrolled immigration. The demand has outpaced the supply, and that itself is contributing to the rise in prices for most things that were once affordable for all Caymanians. We cannot continue like this, ladies and gentlemen, and it stops on May 1st when you elect the People's Progressive Government. And that's why the PPM has put together a wide range of forward-thinking initiatives that will address these issues, ensuring that every Caymanian has the right and the ability and the opportunity to flourish in their own country. The PPM solutions I'm going to lay out for you are not just transformative. They are built on the foundation of inclusivity and opportunity for our people. And they are built to move our country forward to a brighter future. We need to restore our people's confidence that this beloved Cayman Islands belong to them. So, in our first order of business, we will regain control of the work permit process, and we will do that in 3 key ways. First, by regulating the number of permits issued, particularly in jobs that can be easily done by available Caymanians who don't have work today. Secondly, by ensuring that work permit holders stick to the law and only work in the jobs that they were permitted and granted the work permit for. No more of this jumping from job to job to job to job. That has to stop today. And thirdly, by ensuring that the work permit holders actually leave this country when their work permit expires because you are here for one purpose. This approach will also be applied to the civil service. And the next PPM government will amend the laws so that the Cayman civil servants will also be subject to the same stringent policies as the private sector. They will also have term limits, except, of course, for specialist skills that are not available by Caymanians at home. Friends, this all comes down to enforcement. Because many of our laws are already there and we know it. They just need to be enforced. And so to achieve those 3 goals as quickly as possible, the new PPM government will establish a special task force that will have the police, border control, labor, pensions, Coast Guard, all working together, enforcing our laws to protect our Caymanian jobs and reduce the pressures on our communities and our infrastructures. We will also improve the process of vetting applications and will do a better job at monitoring compliance by increasing random spot checks on employers that we know have been misusing the system. The number of work permits granted will be brought back in line with the real needs of the job market, not overloaded with persons who have nothing to do. This unlawful practice of bringing people here knowing that there's no real work for them must stop now. And under the PPM government, you can be assured that it will stop. And with compliance and monitoring being enhanced for employers and workers trying to game the system, we will ensure that they are caught and face consequences, significant penalties, and trust me, you don't want to be on the other side when the PPM government gets into power. The sad reality is that for too long, some of the more unscrupulous companies operating within our shores have considered the fines associated with misuse of the immigration laws as just another way of doing business. And let me break it to you now. We will break that cycle by removing the trade and business license that if you break our immigration laws, you will no longer be able to operate in the Cayman Islands. And we will also strengthen the law to crack down on companies fronting for work permit applications, and we know they're getting a little side money out of it. We know you're there. My good people of the Cayman Islands, this is no joke, and there's no time to play. Our people's lives are at stake. Your PPM government will be taking action to protect jobs, preserve your livelihoods, and put your Caymanian peoples first, because it is our top priority as a government. A lot of what I have just talked about comes down to enforcement, but we also need to reform and create brand new initiatives to be implemented at the same time. Because we recognize that one of the major concerns among our people is the out-of-date process for granting permanent residency, which is subsequently the pathway to Cayman status. We can all see that the huge numbers of PR that has been granted and Cayman status in the year 2024. That bar is currently set way too low, and it cannot continue year after year. And it will not, because I commit to you that the PPM will be reforming the point system and raising the bar that the PR and status goes back as a privilege and not as a right. And it will not, because the Cayman Islands, the PPM is committed to reforming the point system and raising the bar so that the PR and status will be taken seriously. We will ensure that the Cayman Islands are protected, first and foremost, while being fair to those who legitimately have been integrated and wish the Cayman Islands are home. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to send a message that we're anti-anybody, but we have to send a message that we will protect our people and their interests at all costs. There is no question that the imbalances in our system must be addressed, and addressed quickly. And you can count on the PPM to take strong actions to improve the odds for Caymanians, to ensure their success, to take this country forward. Are you ready for a PPM government? Make some noise! Because, ladies and gentlemen, the ladies and gentlemen you see on the stage are ready to take actions. Actions like requiring and not asking, requiring employers to have Caymanians understudying any work permit holder in this country, so that our young Caymanians can gain the experience and the training that they would need to take over a job when their work permit expires. Every year we invest millions and millions of dollars paying for scholarships and training our Caymanian people to get qualified. And we let them come back home to be disappointed, to be told they can't be hired. Well, we are going to close that loop, I can promise you that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to close the loop so that they can be given the jobs that they deserve when they come home. And this will also ensure that their upward mobility for Caymanians within the corporate entities here in our financial services. We will be overhauling the immigration system, and at the same time, we'll also be working with with the same sense of urgency to remove other barriers for Caymanian success, like aligning Caymanians with jobs within the market through a new program called the Cayman First Job Plus program. This initiative will guarantee that every Caymanian school leaver is either enrolled in higher education and further training, or young people will have employment within 12 months. We recognize the importance of providing our young people with the tools that they need to succeed, and we're committed to supporting them on that journey. Ladies and gentlemen, this program will work hand in hand with the new National Workforce and Skills Development Strategies, which will upskill and reskill our Caymanian workforce to give them the skills that they need to work in better paying jobs. The PPM has done the groundwork, and we are ready to implement programs to positively change the lives of Caymanians and take this country forward on day one. Now I ask you again, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the PPM government to take office? As you heard my colleague from Northside say, one of the biggest complaints we hear over and over is the high cost of housing. And he outlined very clearly our plan to make sure, amen, hug the horn. And we within the People's Progressive Movement understand that we have to be committed and willing to put the money in and work with developers to build these houses faster, because we can't do it alone by our government. Rather than giving concessions to the big boys, we're going to give concessions to our contractors who can help us build more homes for our people. And like I said earlier, this is a result of the outstripping of supply and demand from immigration. When you have too many people in your country not keeping pace with your development of your housing system, you'll have these problems like the high cost in rental and the high cost of homes. And we're going to address this head on with the immigration reforms that we outlined to help control excessive demand, and we are bringing the numbers and the initiatives to increase more of the supply of the housing market. I wanted to say some amazing things about the GG Ham program, but my good colleague from Northside did such a good job. I try not to use up that time and use it to something more creative, but I want to say I give thanks every day to the People's Progressive Movement and the Honorable D. Kirk Tibbetts, because my first home when my daughter was born was built on the GG Ham program. And when we get in, we're going to double down on it and make it even better than before. So ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are going to address immigration. We're going to control the labor pool, increase opportunities for Caymanians to get better jobs through upskilling and education, and support more Caymanian home ownership. But don't get me wrong, we're not going to stop there. No, 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 no. We are going to be putting more money in the pockets by increasing our national minimum wage to $9 an hour within the first couple of months in office. And we're going to make sure that we legislate for those increases to be tied to inflation. So if the inflation goes up, so does your minimum wage and your minimum quality of life. The PPM will also introduce a comprehensive upgrade and overhaul of our health services, as you heard by our member for Savannah, so that every Caymanian child will receive basic health care from birth up to age 18, saving families and health care costs that can be used to meet other living expenses. Was that you, Crystal? That was Crystal. You the seniors. I got it right. For our older population, we'll be establishing new health and well-being services, as you heard earlier, to support our seniors to live well in their own homes if they want to choose to live there, or we can build them some beautiful neighborhoods where the seniors can live together and reminisce on the times at a reasonable cost. And Ms. Vernice, I can promise you this, the seniors of Georgetown are going to have the best senior center in the world in Georgetown Central, no matter what none of them say. Because, ladies and gentlemen, retirement should be a time of comfort and peace, and that's why the PPM government will reinforce the pension system to ensure that Caymanians have access to income so they can live comfortably in their golden years. Our seniors have worked hard for this country so that we can have the luxuries that we have today, modern internet, modern cars, modern structures, and modern everything. And because of their hard work, they should live good, not on the backs of the others. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Cayman for Caymanians is not just a catchphrase, nor a series of policies in a document. It's the crystal clear vision for a future for every single Caymanian here tonight. Because no matter who you are, no matter what district that you are from, or who your mama and who your dad is, every Caymanian should have the right and the ability to support, to be able to thrive and live a happy, productive, fulfilling life. What's the point of this amazing little island that we made if the people who are of it are suffering? So, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you that the next PPM government that you vote into office on the 30th of April will put you in a better position than you have ever been before. And all the members on this platform tonight are committed to every single word in that book called the Manifesto, because that will be the Bible that guides us for the 4 years you put us in office. And ladies and gentlemen, every single member here tonight has made a pledge to stick together and stick to the script and keep those commitments to you, the people. And so I urge everyone who is here tonight, and those of you who are tuned in, to give the PPM the strongest, unquestionable mandate to return to office. And you can do that by going out and voting for every single PPM candidate that you have in your constituencies in every district of the Cayman Islands. We all have seen what has happened with a government that is disjointed, with members quitting left, right, and center. This country cannot afford another political fiasco. I'm telling you, I was there, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot afford it. We wasted 80% of the 4 years bickering amongst ourselves, and that's why we have joined together as a PPM government to give you a full 100%. Folks, we are all watching the geopolitics and the uncertainty and instability within the global markets. And I want you to trust me. This is not the time to try another experiment or with unexperienced legislators. If you watch the news closely, listen to global leaders in China, in America, in Canada, in the UK. Now more than ever, ladies and gentlemen, we need a steady hand, an experienced government that will take this country forward for the next 4 years. This is not the time to be taking a risk. And with the PPM government, you will get proven, stable leadership. In Joey Hugh, we have a leader that is experienced in government. And with those remaining members on the stage, they're committed to his leadership. He's been in the community. He's worked hard. He's studied behind the Honorable Moses Kekernel when he was junior minister. or counselor, as they would say. He came up, he became minister, he supported the leader, he learned. And I trust him, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm proud to be his deputy. So I need you to trust him and make him our next Premier of the Cayman Islands. So ladies and gentlemen, on April 30th, go out and vote for every PPM candidate that you know and convince somebody else to do the same. Give us a clear, unmistakable mandate to do the things that we need to do to make your lives better and keep this country moving forward in a positive direction. So vote PPM. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for your attention. God bless each and every one of you. And may God bless these lovely 3 Cayman Islands tonight. Thank you, Georgetown Central. Thank you.
We're moving forward. 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 See the light again. We're moving forward. 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 Forward with PPM. We're tired of the fighting. We need some uniting. So please do the right thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a dynamic speaker. What a great representative. And I already told him, if I hear they're having too much trouble up in there, I coming up there to rough all of them up that not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because I know all the security people, government administration building, they let me in. Folks, I have a wonderful surprise for us all. Donna Bryan calls him the broad-shouldered man. I call him the big brother I never had. And the man who brought me into politics has been my mentor for many, many years of my life, and whom I respect with everything I have. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage now to speak to us all is the Honorable Darwin Kurt Tibbetts, OBE, JP, the founding leader of the People's Progressive Movement.
Forward with PPM. We're barely surviving the hike in the pricing when we should be fighting. Cause these are our islands. People come together. Let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quitters. Experience the leader. Something needs to happen. We need something tried and true to create a better future. We need you with you. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward. I see the light again. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward.
Okay. Master Roy, where Master Roy? Master Roy, listen to me carefully. I'm not trying to imitate you, but ladies and gentlemen, what time is it? I can't hear that. You sure that? What time is it? That's a good little start. Well now, listen now, we're getting old, so give me a little chance. I usually don't want to. Right, as a reminder, I usually don't fool with that, but to tell you I'm getting old. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me tell you, I hadn't planned to do this ever again. But there are some people out there, some of them I see tonight. I got to tell you about them. They are bad people. They like to embarrass you. I was somewhere the other night having dinner with one of my former constituencies and her family. And some good friends of mine were having dinner close by. And when I walked across, because I didn't have a red shirt on, They say you going to another party or what? I was so ashamed, but I can tell you what, I learned my lesson. So, you have heard all of these speakers talking about the manifesto. My job tonight is nothing to do with the manifesto. My job tonight is to make sure that all of you who are here within earshot of mine, and also all of you who are either listening or watching, understand the importance of April the 30th. Hold on, this is serious business, hold on. Not time yet, we're gonna have plenty of time for that, don't worry. You see, ladies and gentlemen, and I am not going to be wasting your time to tell you about all of the inadequacies of the other guys. You've been hearing that. So I leave that to those who are more capable of speaking about that. But what I'm here to tell you that I do know is on April 30th, you need, hey, hadn't seen you in a long time. You need on April 30th to vote for the one real party that exists here in Cayman. You have tried, some of you, the independent tactic. And listen, some of these behind ended up in the middle of it. But you know what? You have no idea what coercion can do you. So I won't go into all of that. That's gone, done, water under the bridge. I liken it to sometimes, no, I better not say that. They can laugh at me. Let me not say that. I'll come back to that one. But going back to the importance of April 30th. You see, when I tell you about trying the independent experiment, this is the first time in our history that we have had 3 governments in one term. Check it out. And I take the road of, I'm not blaming anybody for it, because stuff happens. So let's be real. Every one of those individuals can, at that time, could say, I'm making the right decision. But history has proven that it was not the right decision. And those that you see behind there, now, they know that. And they accept that. So there is no skin off anybody's back. What's done is done. But let's not make that mistake again. And folks, I have children, and I have grandchildren too, just like plenty of you all. This is my land. Nobody loves it any better than I. And I'm here to tell you that this is who must rule the roost. These. So many people who choose to say that I've been running the party from behind the scenes all these years. They can tell you nothing could be further from the truth. When I retired, I retired. But you know what? Tonight, I am back for tonight. And I believe that it is absolutely imperative at this juncture in our history that we elect people who are not only committed, because let's say all the rest of them are committed too, that's fine. Mind you, I'm not so sure about that, but let's say that. But we need to elect people who are committed, who have experience, and we're doing 2 things in one here. If you look at the list of candidates, You have those who have been there for a while, you have the fairly new ones, and you have the ones who are to come. More, do you hear what I tell you? Okay. And the PPM is planning for your future because they are already looking at the next generation of candidates to ensure that when the next election comes, you have people in line who have been working beforehand to make sure. And it's a work in progress, ladies and gentlemen. But I need you to understand that this is a serious matter because by the next time around, the PPM is going to field a full slate of candidates. That way, ladies and gentlemen, you won't have the chance of any experiment. Think about it. And I heard them talking earlier on, and I heard them talking last night about the risk of not giving the PPM the mandate to have a government by way of majority. I want you to think about this thing seriously, folks. We run the risk if we don't elect this slate of candidates of having the same thing all over again. Do we want that? By the way, what time is it? I just like that because I remind everybody when I ask that question so that we don't forget what we're supposed to do. But you know, I got to try to remember these other things too. The lady who writes this warned me not to discard her paper, so I will not do that. But I have to reinforce to you, ladies and gentlemen, the importance of your vote. So let me just take a minute and get on to the importance of your vote by telling you, in case you do not know, and this goes for the candidates too, because you see, since I retired, I can afford to talk to anyone of them how I want to talk to them. You can't fire me. But what they also know is that I would never tell them something that I don't believe to be right. So, ladies and gentlemen, to ensure that the PPM wins the majority on April 30th, that we can sing the song, "We Shall Overcome in May," because April 30th is the last day of April. So, we shall overcome in May. Instead of someday, we will do so in May. In order to do that, you need to eat PPM, sleep PPM, walk PPM, ride PPM, drive PPM, do everything PPM. Work too. Don't lose your job for PPM now. Don't lose your job. But everything, listen. You know what I loved the other day? One of the PPM candidates, because that's another thing I swore I wasn't going to do. But anyway, all kinds of stuff can happen. One of the candidates was canvassing along with a couple of other people. And they went to a certain house. And they displayed their wares. And they tried the best to ensure that they captured the vote, which is what it's all about. And by the time they had finished, the lady that they went to visit walked the whole street with them and introduced the candidate to all of her neighbors. That's what you guys need to do. And you know which one of these candidates is desirous of being a representative for you. You know which constituency, who is who. You know that. If you don't see them, call them. Tell them get their butt out and start visiting, because that's what they have to do. But you need to help them with that, because they only got 2 little legs. So everybody needs to be part of the whole effort. Am I making any sense, folks? So while we want a little bit of hype and all like that, what I'm telling you now is serious business. Because we only got just a little bit more than 3 weeks left for the election. And I don't want to be wasting my time here tonight, I can tell you that. Folks, hear me. I don't want to sound in the begging spirit, because everybody in the world knows how good I am at that. But let me say to you that the way we are in this country today is not a joke. While we can make light for the moment, it is not a joke. I was listening to Roy. I was also in the government 2013 to 17, on my way out. But I was there then, and I remember all that he was saying. I remember all that Sir Alden was saying. Also, about the ill-fated report. We don't know what all the happenings up north. Think of what I'm saying now, because I ain't preaching doom and gloom, but I'm saying to you tonight, we do not know what the net end result of all of the stuff that's happening up north, over which we have no control, is going to fall down and dump on us. We need steady hands on the deck. We do. You see, if all of you would do all the things that I've just been talking about, eating it, sleeping it, breathing it, and everything it, PPM it, then we will sweep it. And I'm going to show you how we'll sweep it. Mr. DJ, where's the music, man? That's for you, Joey. But we're not dealing with you yet. I want to hear the PPM song.
Forward.
And we're going to sweep them out.
Forward with PPM.
Watch me sweep them out.
We're barely surviving the hike and the pricing when we should be fighting. Cause these are our islands. People come together. Let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quick dies. Experience believers, something needs to happen. We need something tried and true to create a better future. We need you with you. We're moving forward.
I asked Donna to show one more time how we are going to sweep them out, because in our day, when I was around and she was in her prime, and she used to call me broad shoulders, that's how we swept them out all the time, right, Donna? And we're going to sweep them out again this time. Now, I know it's late. By the way, in case they say that the PPM is treating, you know that you keep hearing them talking about treating. There's food over there, good food too. But it's not treating. Wells is catering. And the PPM is not paying. That's how good Wells is with their good food. So food is there. Don't leave yet. The food is there. And I know that my time is nearly up. I know I called you too early, but just give me 2 seconds and I'm going to call you again. Sir Alden. Mr. Roy. I want you to stand in line, just as I am. You in front of me. You in front of him. You in front of them. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make a point to you. I want to make a point to you. No, stay right there. I want to make one point to you guys. There are 4 of us here. Since the PPM started in 2002, these are the 4 leaders that you have had. Never once, not even a half of once, did you have any arguments when the time came for who the leader should be. So now, Mr. DJ, can we hear it? Follow him! Follow him! Go ahead! All of you all line up and go ahead. Hands up, down, up, down, up, down. Everybody now, put one. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Follow me. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Follow the leader, follow the leader. Hands up. Okay, okay. Did you see any argument? That is how the PPM operates, and I want you to understand that may sound like you take it for granted because it's the PPM, but that is a half of the job. That is why you must vote for the PPM. The only real party that exists in Cayman. Don't have to stand up now, you can sit down. And ladies and gentlemen, my time is up. And I want to tell you, because I know that Kenneth didn't know any better, but he was stealing my thunder. But I also know him from long time. That when he get going, he can't help himself very much. But that's okay, because it works well. Because what he says makes a lot of sense. But let me tell you what my last chore is for the night. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone and talked about all kinds of stuff. But there's a young man here who I have known from, well, I can't say I know him before he born, but I've known his family long before he born, and I've known him since he was born. And I can remember when his father used to chastise him for not calling me Mr. Kurt. And I used to have to go to battle with his father and to tell him, you're making me feel old and that kind of stuff, trying to make an excuse. And when he got into the spearfishing business, just to make sure that I was on the right side of that, from the time he was growing up, every time he shot a barracuda, he would bring me half. And ladies and gentlemen, I have watched this young man grow. I can't help his height, but I have watched him grow, and I have watched him learn. That's what I've always liked about him. He never tried to think that he knew it all, and he has gone through the process of learning. He's never overconfident and cocky, but he's now to the point where he's sure of himself, and the PPM is safe in his hands. Ladies and gentlemen, your last speaker for the night, the next Premier of the Cayman Islands, Joey Hugh.
To create a better future, we need you with you. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, I see the light again. We're moving forward with PPM. please do the right thing for our Cayman Islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quitters. Experience delivered, something needs to happen. We need something tried and true to create a better future. We need you with you. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, I see the light again. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward with PPM. Forward, forward with PPM. We're moving forward with PPM. Forward.
Wow, good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you, Kurt. Mr. Kurt, because my father is here, I think. So I don't want to get in trouble. Thank you for that endorsement. And it's really good. Felt really good to see you back on the stage again, sir. Now, I know that I stand between you and that, well, his food that he was talking about. So I'm going to try and be quick. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from most of the candidates here on the stage this evening. Fortunately, we could not make them all speak this evening, or we'd be here until tomorrow morning. But you can tell, and you can appreciate the quality of candidates that we have here on this stage, the passion, the understanding of the real issues that are facing you, the people of the Cayman Islands. You could hear that they truly believed in what we have in this manifesto. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here tonight with a heart full of hope and a vision for a brighter future. A future in which all Caymanians have a stake. As we embark on this crucial chapter of our nation's history, I invite the country to embrace the spirit of excellence. There is a young Caymanian who lives among us, breathes among us, who embodies the symbols of our collective aspirations for excellence, progress, and unity. I therefore invite Caymanians everywhere to follow his stellar example and go for the gold. This young man is a world champion, a gold medalist, and a multiple record breaker, and he is our own Jordan Crooks. Our athletes have truly shined over the past few years, setting numerous records and achieving many firsts across a range of sports, including football, track and field, swimming, gymnastics, and back-to-back victories in golf at the Latin American Championships. In fact, this Thursday, our very own Justin Hastings will take the world stage as he competes in the Masters, the premier golfing event in North America. We are incredibly proud of this. The Augusta Nationals, sorry, not the Masters, that's for the older ones. The Nationals. We are incredibly proud of his accomplishments, and we wish him the very best of luck. But to all of the athletes, all of our athletes tonight, I stand before you to say, we will be there for you, to support and champion you with the same focus, commitment, and determination that you show every day in your pursuit of excellence. Today, we too must strive for excellence in all facets of our lives, from education and healthcare to innovation and governance. Excellence is not an abstract, unattainable ideal. It is a tangible goal that can be achieved through dedication and a relentless pursuit of our highest potential. We must prioritize quality education for our children, ensuring that they are equipped with the knowledge and skills necessary to thrive in an unpredictable and ever-evolving world. By investing in education, we are planting the seeds for a future where our youth can achieve greatness and make meaningful contributions to our society. We will therefore raise the standards of teaching in all public schools through enhanced training and mentorship of our teachers, and we will ensure that enough classrooms are available to cater to future needs and to guarantee class sizes of an optimum number. At the same time, we will provide learning environments and facilities for our children across the islands that are modern and well-maintained. The primary purpose of education is to develop critical thinking in our young people. Once they are equipped with the right tools, they will be prepared to take on the world. It does not matter what field they choose, whether they are professionals, artisans, technology innovators, small business operators, or customer relation agents. They need to be given the chance to be the very best that they can be. And Cayman, we will do this. We will do it, and we will give them the tools so that they too can go for the gold. In our quest for the gold, innovation stands as a lighthouse of progress. Throughout history, human ingenuity has led to groundbreaking discoveries and advancements that have transformed societies and improved lives. As a nation, we must cultivate a culture of innovation, encouraging creativity and embracing new technologies that propel us. We must keep moving forward. A new PPM government will provide the necessary resources and create an environment where entrepreneurs and visionaries can flourish. By fostering innovation, we will unlock new opportunities, drive economic growth, and enhance our global competitiveness. Small businesses employ the highest number of people and provide the greatest opportunity for Caymanians to create generational wealth and take care of their families. The PPM has a fine record in developing and supporting this sector through the Cayman Islands Center for Business Development. We must increase our support even more for small businesses to flourish and to employ Caymanians. As we strive for progress, we must also recognize our responsibility to build a sustainable future for generations to come. Environmental stewardship is not a choice, but it is a duty. Going for the goal means leading the charge in the fight against climate change, adopting renewable energy solutions, and preserving our natural resources. The PPM is committed to implementing policies that promote environmental sustainability. We will invest in clean energy projects, reduce carbon emissions, and protect our biodiversity. By doing so, we are ensuring a healthier planet for our children and reaffirming our alignment with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We cannot achieve any of this, though, without a modern national development plan. We are nearly at the finish line with Plan Cayman, and it will be a priority of this government to get it done. Empowering communities and going for the goal also means that local communities are the backbone of our nation. And by supporting them, we are strengthening the foundation upon which our country is built. We will invest in community development projects, enhance public services, and promote local businesses. This administration will work closely with community leaders to address their unique needs and challenges. By empowering communities, we will foster a sense of ownership and pride that will drive positive changes at the very grassroots level. Caymanians, in our journey towards excellence, unity is our greatest strength, not only as a party, but as a country. Just as athletes rely on the support of their teams, we too must come together as a united force. Our diversity is a source of strength, and embracing our differences, we can build a more inclusive and harmonious society. We must all work together to address the challenges we face, from economic inequality to social injustice. This new administration will continue to champion policies that promote equality, justice, and opportunity for all Caymanians. By fostering a sense of belonging and mutual respect, we can create a society where everyone can thrive. My fellow Caymanians, the path to greatness is not without challenges. However, by embracing the spirit of going for the gold, we can overcome any obstacle and achieve remarkable success. Let us commit ourselves to excellence, innovation, sustainability, unity, and community empowerment. Together, we can build a nation that stands as a shining beacon of progress and prosperity. Let us go for the goal, not just for ourselves, but for future generations who will inherit the legacy that we create today. Ladies and gentlemen, you can feel that breeze. That's the same breeze that has been blowing through Cayman. That's the same breeze that the PPM plane took to Cayman yesterday, just to finalize the tour. Now I want all of you to help me close out this evening. DJ, give us a song. Everybody help me take it home. Georgetown North, Georgetown Central, Georgetown West, Georgetown East,
the hike in the pricing,
Georgetown
when
South,
we should be fighting, 'cause these are our islands. People come together, let's change for the better. PPM Newlands, experience
Savannah,
the leader, something needs to happen. When he's something trying to create a better future.
we moving forward.
We moving
God
forward.
bless you all, and have a wonderful night.
With PPM forward, I see the light again. We moving forward. With PPM forward. With PPM forward, forward with PPM. We're tired of the fighting. We need some uniting. So please do the right thing for our Cayman Islands. People come together. Let's change for the better. PPM ain't no quitters. Experience the leader. Something needs to happen. We need something tried and true to create a better future. We need you with you. We moving forward with PPM forward. With PPM forward. I see the light again. We moving forward with PPM forward. With PPM forward, forward with PPM. We moving forward with PPM forward. With PPM forward. I see the light again. We moving
Folks, what an incredible meeting. Thank you all for your energy, for your attentiveness, for your support. We have to take this thing forward. PPM, we don't have it locked yet, but we're getting close. Folks, have a wonderful, blessed tomorrow, Sunday. There are manifestos over there by the blue tent. And as Kurt indicated already, there is food over there. Thank you all again. Journeying Mercies. We love you. We love you. We love you. Good night.